Hi everyone. How are you doing today? So we have somewhat 7 minutes left. Let me know if the sound is okay. Alright, while we were waiting, still have like 5 minutes before we're trying to call in. Yeah, I received this kind of presentation. Alright, thank you, Adults Trade. Yeah, there is some latency between what I'm saying and what I'm seeing in the comments, so if it takes some time to respond, Fist Energy, thanks, sound is good, I see you. Perfect. Beanie. Yeah, so of course you have a PDF version, but also I received this documentation about this meeting as a preparation. So everything is described there. 8 proposals in total. I don't know why I said that 8 were approved and 1 was not, so it makes total to 9. Yeah, so in total 8. That 7 was approved. So the one that's still outstanding is the proposal number 3, and that's what we are going to see today. I hope it passes. I personally voted for, and yeah, just a few interesting information about it if while we are waiting still a couple minutes. This is basically a power transfer proposal. So how it works, we have 3 classes of directors, board directors, and so class 1, class 2, class 3, and they usually re-elected after 3 years of annual meetings. And this time, well, since we're doing merger, we need to, readjust this. That's why we have this proposal. So what's happened basically in this proposal, we want the directors of class 1, which is the highest, and Thomas Healy is there. We wanted to make those elections not every 3 years, but for this particular election we need to do it after the first year. So class 2 after the 2 year, not after 3 years, but after 2 years. And that's basically the idea of this. So the condition of this is that if proposals about New York Stock Exchange was voted as not approved, this particular proposal would not take effect. And well, we know that this is the only one that's left, and I really do think that this is just it's not, I mean, it's a big deal, but it's just, it takes time to go through all of this bureaucracy, so things are set up properly, and the board of directors, in this case Thomas Healy, and the second person, I forgot the name, it's written here, will have basically the power over the company. So let me know what volume is very low. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that comment. Right, should be higher now. Yeah, we'll talk about the price once I finish with this proposal explanation. So the last thing we should know about it is that right, so the last thing we should know about it, that if you do not vote, you will be counted as against, and this is the big important part. Basically, I don't think people will vote in majority against this proposal, But if you do not vote, that's why I really urge you to vote. Probably it's too late right now, but for the second time, they will. If it doesn't go through today, well, they should do some more effort on marketing and explain to all the investors that you need to vote, otherwise it will not go through. That's the biggest takeaway, I guess, for today. And this should take only probably 5 to 10 minutes, I think, this meeting, so it should be fast. All right, so about the price action, we can discuss it later. I will just start to dial in. So the price action is still around, yeah, still good, huh? It was 55 today, but all right, so let's dial in.
Please enter your passcode followed by the pound key. The presentation is not in progress at this time. You will be placed on hold.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the reconvened Tortoise Acquisition Corp. Special Meeting of Stockholders. I'm Vincent Covich, Chief Executive Officer, President, and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Tortoise Acquisition Corp. This meeting was originally convened on September 28, 2020. On the original date of the meeting, the business combination with Hyliion Inc. and all but one of the related proposals were approved by the company's stockholders. Proposal 3, the amendment to the company's amended and restated certificate of incorporation to reclassify the board of directors of the company, was not approved on the original date of the meeting. In accordance with the stockholders' approval of the adjournment proposal and Tortoise Acquisition Corp's bylaws, we deemed it appropriate to adjourn the special meeting with respect to Proposal 3 until today to provide additional time to solicit stockholder votes on Proposal 3. The business of this reconvened meeting will be limited strictly to the matters related to stockholders voting on Proposal 3. The reconvened special meeting of stockholders is hereby called to order. I will preside as chairman of this meeting. Steven Schnitzer, Vice President, General Counsel, and Secretary of Tortoise Acquisition Corp., will act as the secretary of this meeting. The same participants on behalf of the company who are present at the special meeting are present virtually with us today for this reconvened special meeting. As with the special meeting, Kevin Kelly, a representative of Morrow, who has been appointed as the Inspector of Elections by our Board of Directors, will determine the number of shares to be voted at today's reconvened special meeting and has previously taken an oath as Inspector of Elections.
We have present today, either online or represented by proxy, holders of at least 15,864,823 shares of common stock out of the total of 29,126,147 shares of Tortoise Acquisition Corp. common stock outstanding and entitled to vote on the voting record date. This represents approximately 54.47% of the voting power of all of the company's outstanding shares of common stock, since the majority of the voting power of all outstanding shares of common stock of the company entitled to vote at this meeting is represented here today. A quorum is present.
Because a quorum has been established and is represented at the meeting, I declare this meeting to be duly reconvened for the purpose of transacting such business as may properly come before it. We did not receive any questions from our stockholders in advance of our special meeting or during our special meeting held earlier this week. Accordingly, we will not be taking questions at today's reconvened special meeting. The next order of business is to vote on Proposal 3. It is now 1:03 p.m. Eastern Time today, September 30th, 2020, and the polls are now declared open with respect to Proposal 3 and are available on the virtual meeting website. We will now proceed with the polling. Each stockholder is entitled to one vote for each share of common stock held of record at the close of business on the voting record date of August 24th, 2020. If you previously voted by proxy, you do not need to vote today unless you wish to change your vote. If you have not voted or if you would like to change your vote, you may vote online by following the instructions on the virtual meeting website. This concludes the matters to be considered and voted upon at today's meeting. I now declare that the polls closed at 1:04 p.m. Eastern Time today, September 30th, 2020. No additional ballots, proxies, or votes, and no changes or revocations will be accepted. The Inspector of Election will count the votes. A preliminary report from the Inspector of Election shows that the amendment to Tortoise Acquisition Corp's amended and restated certificate of incorporation to reclassify the board of directors of the company has not been approved. The Inspector of Election will furnish the Secretary a written report of the final vote count with respect to the matters voted on today and on the date this meeting was originally convened, which shall be included in the minutes of the meeting. The company plans to file a Form 8-K within 4 business days of the original date of the special meeting to disclose the final voting results. All proposals relating to the business combination with Hyliion, Inc. have been approved with the exception of Proposal 3, for the amendment to the company's amended and restated certificate of incorporation to reclassify the board of directors of Tortoise Acquisition Corp. Since the company has a sufficient number of votes to approve the business combination, it expects to close the transaction on October 1st, 2020. That concludes the order of business for this reconvened special meeting. Now that the business portion of this reconvened special meeting is closed, I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you all for attending and have a great day.
Wow. So, if I did hear it correctly, and I had some problems with sound here, it didn't pass, right? Even though the second time. So the transaction is will be finished on October 1st, and I guess that's the date, but I need to verify where ticker symbol will change. Right. So the merger was voted. Don't get me wrong. It was okay. So right now, I don't know how they will, pass the control, but the merger is happening, and that's unless you have some other information. Yeah, today's meeting was not that critical as the one from Monday, but well, yeah, price action is going down. Yeah, it's dropping quite fast actually, minus 10% right now. That's the point. If you believe in this company, if you're at least investing for a year or so, that's the moment when you buy. When it drops, not when it goes up. and it still continues to drop. And I expect that not all of investors will apprehend this news as the good news. You know, since it was, it's not passing. I should stop reading comments because it's hard to read and talk at the same time, right? Yeah, so I will definitely make another video with explanations about what's happened, where are we going, and what's happening on October 1st. So don't forget to subscribe if you did not. And yeah, thank you for your likes and thank you for your time. I think this can be the end of this stream. Just let me know in the comments down below whether you liked it or not. And again, thank you. Bye.